Mantanusa Glacier, and there are two people out on it right now. I don't know whether you can see them right there in the center of the screen or not. I think I got them brought in as far as it'll go, yeah.
I hope you're going to get a better shot of it.
We're kind of worried that they're going to drop out of sight out there. They ought to be tramping around out there, we don't think. This is the tail end of it. They tell us it runs about 20-some miles back up in the mountains. And at one time it ran 90 miles on back down to Palmer, where we just came from. And let's see if we can see them pair down there again. I don't spot them right now.
Oh, one is in the black.
Yeah, there we are. They're walking. There's some other people right down here on the black ice. A lot of that's black ice. Ice has been there for millions of years, I guess. Insulated with dirt and still there. And let me see if we can show you the water that's coming out of that thing melting. See it boiling up out there? That whole river, and the one I just showed you a little while ago, that whole river is coming right out of this glacier. Here's a picture of the ice glacier as it winds back up through the valleys in the mountains there, some 27 miles. Keeps pushing down and melting off. Just couldn't resist a shot of this mountain. Boy, oh boy, is it ever pretty. Looks like it's got iron coming out of it or something. Really pretty. It's hard to see right now. Just wanted to show you what can happen to you when somebody goes to sleep on the other side of the road. That's not our outfit, but we came along right after it happened. Fell in a pickup truck, fell asleep, and come over and hit the man. Boy, we feel sorry. There, we're going down the road to Valdez. I give you some idea of what we're driving in most of the time. Well, Roseanne says not most of the time, and I suppose she's right. But it seems like a lot of the time. Dusty and dirty. This is the Worthington Glacier. We're setting in our motorhome probably a couple miles or 3 miles away from it. It runs about 6,000 feet up in the air, and we're going to attempt to drive over there to it, get a little closer to it. We think there's a spot right over in here somewhere where it shows some motorhomes or something up in there. We think we can get up in there too. That's one little arm of it. So before too long we'll be showing you some more of it, hopefully closer. There's some people down on the glacier. They tell us you're not supposed to walk on it because it is a little dangerous with the crevasses, I guess. And we're going to walk up and try to get a little bit closer to it. It's quite a sight. There's some people walking up on top of the mountain near the glacier up there. Way up there, as you can see. Don't know where they've been, but got backpacks. It's kind of the height of some black ice right here facing us. It's unbelievable just how thick and how hard that must be. See some, right about in the center, you can see some water dripping down into the river down below. A lot of water running out of that thing, I'll tell you. It's all water running out of that glacier. We're standing kind of down below it, looking up at the top of the peak of this glacier, and it just kind of makes you shudder a little bit, wondering what's holding all that ice up there, why it don't come rumbling down here. Let's hope it don't. There's one of the many little thousands of rivulets that are running off of this thing as it melts. And yet, for thousands of years, it hasn't melted. Isn't that fantastic? The wind's blowing so hard I can't. Well, there's where we just were. Over there on that glacier. We're up in the pass now, Thompson Pass, going down into Valdez. And let's see if we can get you down there. Somewhere down there. There it is. Not sure whether we can bring it in. No. That's where we'll be in just a few minutes. This is quite a shot here of the area. Snow-capped mountains, and we're way up here. There's snow alongside the road. Also, we're driving through a canyon now. And as we drive along, we came to the Bridal Veil Falls. Boy, are they ever pretty. Really pretty. Isn't that something, huh?
Get the other one.
And it don't make any difference wherever you look in this Alaska. It seems like there are streams of water coming down the side of mountains. Everywhere you look. See here, there's probably another one down there. Yeah. Everywhere. Pretty.
Yeah, I'll bet they do. What's your name?
These guys in there catching fish, just letting it go. They're in there spawning.
You know the Eagle Claw RV park up there? My mom and dad own the place. They don't know.
These fish are all in there just spawning, and the kids are picking them up by hand. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're the humpback, the pink salmon. But they're running all through the river here. Trying to get up there to spawn. Look at them chasing the fish. They're having fun. They're on a ball. Yeah, see, these fish are trying to get up here to spawn, and these little girls are in there just having a ball. And here's where the water's coming from.
It's gotta be so cold on your feet.
Yeah.
Your feet are red. Should go to the bathroom.
Can you see all the fish laying in there? There's something.
See, you've been fishing wrong all these years.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be walking in the river, catching them with your hands. Little girls can do it.
They're having fun, I'll tell you. This is in Valdez, Alaska. We're on a little side creek here, and the fish are coming up here and spawning, and they're dying, and the seagulls are having a feast. They're just so thick up in there, and all that little creek, and you can see the fish are dying off, and that's what they're after, cleaning them up. Well, we drove over here to the end of the Alaska pipeline, and this is as far as they're going to let us go. So we'll have to do our best, I guess, to show you some of the terminals, and about all we can see, really. There isn't a heck of a lot going on here.
There's quite a beach.
There's a terminal where they load the ships right out there. End of the Alaska pipeline. We looked at it on one end, and now 800 and some miles on the other end looking at it. Well, there's the Lulabelle. We're going to be cruising the harbor out here and looking over the glaciers and that sort of thing. And that's the boat we'll be going on this morning at 7:30 on Saturday morning.
My pick, my shovel, and the chisel, that's all I need. He said, I find gold anywhere. I'll bet you there's gold in the North Beach. Well, of course, they didn't take him up on it, but he vowed not to shave or cut his hair until he found gold. It took him a couple of years. He was probably his first red-headed hippie. But he did find gold. Here it is. He found the claim after 2 weeks, so he filed the claim, patented, paid up land claim. It is his property. 1906 he started it. He kept it up until the Second World War, when they could no longer find gold in this country. You know, the government, the United States nest. In the eagle's nest, there is an adult with a white head showing nicely, and they actually, that adult is to the left of the eagle's nest on a branch. Look in the center of that nest, and you will see the immature. He's all brown. Oh, there goes the adult, just came out. 4 feet deep. Some of those big eagle's nests are as much as 100 years old. Not that the eagles live that long, you know. The eagles live to be about 40.
It's waving, so it's hard to see.
It takes, like I
We're
said,
looking at eagle.
5 years to get that right. And I try to point out that if I see there's a seal on the rock, they're not very high. Seals are going by right now.
There's some seals right there.
It looks like 300 seals on that rock there. Like a 20-story building tree. But then again, it probably doesn't look like we're almost a half a mile away from it either.
Oh, and there's such a
Yeah, we're taking
Yeah, and hamming
pictures
it
of
up.
some
Oh, yeah.
sea lions here on
That
boy.
is bobbing and us bobbing.
Gosh, they're darling. Beautiful. Oh,
Right up
Well,
close
look
to
at
the
them all.
And they can jump that high, or they can jump a lot higher than that, too. I mean, those are called stellar sea lions.
Better?
Stutter, yeah.
Oh, steady.
one in the water.
They're different than seals in that they're bigger than seals. They have big flippers that they can actually walk or waddle with. And they have,
look at that.
they have a friendly face to get up on here. They have ears on the side of their head rather than holes in your ears, head for ears like the seal have. You know, seals are much smaller and they have smaller fins. Flippers are not big enough to support the weight. And they're not long enough to support the weight, actually.
Yes.
These are called stellar sea lions.
Put that big one away. Oh, yawn.
Looks like the mom and dad and baby, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Probably is.
Thinking about getting up on there, isn't he?
Yeah, he says.
When they-
the right place to make it, Jeff.
There's a bigger one. That's a male.
Yeah.
Pass that up.
No.
Big male. There's a small one, little guy. He could be a male or a female. There's that's a smaller one too. That might be a female.
I can't. He's in the
That's definitely a male. There, you see, he's got a bigger fin. Or killer whale.
He's down.
Now he's coming up. I went down.
film here. We'd like to get a good shot of one here.
Yeah. Now they're down.
They're up below there. There's a family of 4.
One good size one. There you go. Look at it.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right next to it.
Probably won't get
There, right here, one of them.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Right beside us on the left.
There they are going that way.
Where's Daddy? What's your fingers spinning? There's those little turkeys beside us on the right. Right there. Big guys behind us. Take your choice, they're all right. Keep going, Kodak love.
There's a whole string of glaciers, as you can see them. Icebergs. All the way along. I think we're going to go up in there and take a look at that glacier pretty soon. Some miles long that thing is.
Takes glacier on it down. Because you see, at the split, it allowed more water to get back in at the face of the glacier behind the moraine where it's deeper. And that caused it to calve off the side of the moraine. That's called lateral moraine. That's ice. Now that's not a very pretty part of the glacier. Now beyond it, way beyond it, that you'll start to see the pinnacles of the little seals swimming on the right-hand side ahead of us, out between us and the ice. Just as it. From the base of the glacier, we were at 800 feet of water, 800 feet deep. So we got out our sextants, you know, and we blew the dust off of it, and we measured the angle between below. Well, that gives you a face that is 1,000 feet thick. 1,000 feet thick of void, which extends back in the mountains 41 miles. This fjord is solidly plugged with ice. 440 square miles of ice, up to 1 mile thick in places. It's been that way since the last ice age. 1 mile thick. That's been think of it over a couple of million years. This sun does not let you see the blues.
smoke there once in a while, crunching away. You also see us jerk and jiggle. That is some ice for our drinks. One way to get the ice, huh? I figure that ice could be as old as 2,000 years old. So we're going to have some old-time drinks here. One way to get your ice.
Well, watch the old high nose.
So ice man, we got ice ladies, huh? Isn't that beautiful, huh? Color of blue, huh? Wow. These are a group of sea otters that we've come across out here in the Prince William Sound, and they're sound asleep, laying right there on their back. Yeah. Laying there. And that one there's awake. The rest of them we think are just laying there sound asleep. Now they're waking up. They hear us now. They're looking at us, looking us all over. Sea otters. Wondering what the heck is that, huh? And we got a white face or brown face. Looking at it, wondering, well, what is that? Not really too much afraid of it either. Storage tank from the end of the Alaska pipeline.
All their habits and what they do, all the crazy things about the reindeers and sheep.
Had encountered.
One was a rapist. The other reindeer was
Going to church this morning. Had a nice summer cold. Yeah.
He was Mount Black. There, right there. Right there. I think probably.
Hi, I'm taking some nice shots.
but with my husband and moving and the travel vacations. I've been shot and pictures.
Well, there's the boat that we went to church on this Sunday, and certainly enjoyed the pastor's message. It was a Baptist minister, and he just did a whale of a job. We certainly enjoyed it. Went out into the bay here in Valdez, and really enjoyed ourselves associating with all the people on. Well, this is Sunday afternoon, and Rosanne and I have been to church, and we're kind of waiting to go on a tour later on this evening to the oil terminal, and we're up here to the Valdez Glacier. You can see it way off in the distance. Let's see if I can bring it in a little better. We're down in the foothills of this glacier, way down in here, and you can see ice down here. It must be, thousands of years old. We were on a tour yesterday, and the folks there were dipping some ice out of the sea right alongside the boat, and the pilot of the boat told us that ice that, like we're looking at here right now, probably 2,000 up to 10,000 years old. So it was snow that snowed back as early as when Christ was born. Quite interesting. Well, this is another angle from the Valdez Glacier. Rosanne and I walked around the edge of it here, kind of, and a lot of old black ice, they call it, where dust blowed onto it and everything. And actually, there is the glacier itself. It's receded back through that valley. That whole thing was full of ice at one time. And then you can see where it goes down this river, and you can hear it. And the sea is probably 10 miles downriver there. We came up here hoping we'd see some bear fishing or something, but we didn't find any. Kind of grayish water, but that's the silt coming down off the glacier. One of the many pretty flowers we found right around the glacier. Well, everybody in Alaska has got an airplane. And I just wanted to show you that here's a guy that's right across from the airport, but he's got it parked right in the yard next to his car.
Acts sort of like a scissor effect. They open and close like a pair of scissors would. And that's what the oil is pumped into the cargo hold of the ship through. It's an hour. The piping that goes into the berth, first of all, the oil piping is next to the walkway here. And the piping furthest away is ballast water piping. Now, ballast water is what is put into the hold of the cargo hold of a ship to give it stability and maneuverability. If it were red, there would be a tanker there, and that would mean that tanker is up to 265,000 deadweight ton. These loading arms are 16 inches in diameter, and the maximum loading capacity here is tank. That's the first phase of our ballast water treatment. Because oil is lighter than water, it rises to the top of the tanks, which takes about 4.5 hours. The oil is then skimmed from the top of the tanks, and we have our next phase of ballast water treatment is the dissolved air flotation chambers, and it's a small green building, looks like, and they have that area for cleaning and repair ship.
Yeah.
Don't get off the bus. Okay, this is berth number 4, and this is a really good area to see the piping that goes into the berth areas. The piping closest to the walkway is the oil piping, and the piping next to it is ballast water, and the small piping that you see there is our fire water piping. Now the ship there is the Exxon San Francisco. It's 810 foot long, 75,000 deadweight ton, 564,000 barrels is its maximum capacity. It's berth number 4. The 270,000 deadweight ton, 16-inch loading arm of a mile-long walkway. And so the fellows don't like to work that in the secretaries, all the bulk of this terminal. The rest of the people work shift 3 Fahrenheit. What isn't, as I said, used as fuel is burned off in the incinerators. Now this produces an exhaust. That exhaust is collected, cooled, and condensed, sent back into the tanks via pipe, and because it's an inert gas and non-combustible, it provides a safety factor that we need. The power plant can produce 37.5 megawatts of power, which can power a town. It also has a camera on the one side.
This is a tank farm at the end of the pipeline. There's some more tanks. One of those tankers down there will hold about half of one of those. More of the tanks and their retaining walls. Enough retaining walls here to hold all the oil in them tanks. That's the city of Valdez, where we just came from. Over across the bay.
They open up and the oil goes into the holding tanks. And to the front and the left of the bus, you'll see the pipe. This is the actual 48-inch Trans-Alaska pipeline coming out of the ground. The whole sway of the line is 2 foot in any
800
direction.
miles. Well, we're looking at a eagle's nest here in Valdez. Let's see. Well, I can bring it in any closer. I guess we're in as close as we can get. That's a young one sitting up there. You just saw him move, maybe. Moving around a little bit. There's 2 young ones in there, we're told, and they've been up flopping their wings, and haven't seen one of the parents in here yet, but real interesting. Right alongside the road. This nest is right alongside the road. You watch her. I can't see him.
She's got her stop sign.
Can't take that picture either. Pause.
That's Mount Sanford, 16,000 feet. What's the other one?
Mount Drum.
And Mount Drum, 12,000 feet. Really big mountain.
On top of the building.
Ain't that a pretty sunset, huh? Yeah. Mother, let's try and get in it, see if we can. Why don't you go out there and I'll come right out there with you. Out a little farther. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Look into it.
Well, anyway, here we are.
About ready
looking
to
for
head
bear.
home. Yeah, looking for bear and about ready to head home and look at that beautiful sunset, huh? Really great. We just had such a great time, and a few more days, and we're going to be heading back toward Michigan. Okay?
Okay.
Oh my, what a beautiful sunset, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is really great.
It is what time here? Time back home?
It is 5 minutes to 10 here. And what is it, hon? What is it back home? 5 to 2 back home. Yeah. What a beautiful sunset. We're camped in a little roadside pull-off here in Alaska. Anywhere in Alaska, you can pull off the road and just park, and it's really great up here. Just had to show you a little bit more of that sunset. Isn't that a beauty, huh? Wow. Well, we pulled off here into like a rest area on Kulane Lake. Kulane Lake, maybe that is. It's a huge thing. We've been driving alongside of it for probably about 25 miles now. And just goes on and on and on along the Alaskan Highway near Destruction Bay. Quite a lake, and a pretty one. Hey, buddy. How are you? How are you? Huh? Hi, buddy. How are you? Huh? I can see you. Yeah. I can see you. We are at the $1 Million Falls on some river. I don't know what it is. Boy, are they wicked falls. Woo! These are just below the falls. We'll give us a picture of it here in a minute. That is real wicked water. Boy, is that water boiling down through there. Wow. There's the $1 Million Falls right there. It says the $1 Million Falls dropped 60 meters, forming a natural barrier to migrating species of salmon originating from the Gulf of Alaska. The section of river below the falls is a very active spawning area for Chinook, sockeye, and coho salmon. The origin of the name $1 Million Falls is unknown. There are at least 4 explanations for the name. 1, a plane carrying $1 million worth of payroll crashed near the falls. 2, $1 million worth of construction equipment was buried at this site following the construction of the Haynes Road. 3, it cost over $1 million to set up a construction camp at this site during the construction of the Haynes Road. And 4, the cost of construction for the Haynes Road to this point was $1 million. No one can say for sure which of these explanations is correct, as there are no records of the name's origin. Here's what I think that coyote was after a few minutes ago. Yeah. Looks like he got 4 white feet. Must be a snowshoe, I guess. Black and white.
kan venegen. Harikian kawa kajika nagas ket kazakan. Yahani kapketini. Yeah, Katangiji Kwate. Okay?
Okay.
Just a little sample of what our singing town sounds like. A lot of times people come up here, they never actually hear it. Well, you've heard it this evening, and I will translate what I've said. Anything you see here this evening when you return home, may you share it with your loved ones. Let them know that the singing race is alive here, and the culture and the dance is kept up by the few that you see here. While you're traveling through our state, may the good Lord watch over you, keep you, bless you, and give you a safe journey home while you're traveling through our state. My name is Payetskow Ish. Translation, Iron Drum Father. I was born out in the Yakutat area. And my father comes from 10 miles up the Chilkat River. My brother Korshkow and the rest of the troop welcome you here to the Raven Theater this evening. And as the dance progresses, I'll tell you what's happening. And again, thank you for listening. Go Korshkow!
Charlie is telling you in the Tlingit language that the tribe and the nation range from Ketchikan all the way up to this area here. Now out the road here some 20 miles is the village of Klukwan, and that is the home of the Chilkats, from which we take our name. Now, in the old days there was no written language among the Tlingit people, so one of the ways in which history and legends were passed on to the younger people was by the use of the dance, and that's what we will do tonight. Most of the time, every fourth day they do another part of it, of the story, until sometimes the dances will last days and days. Charlie and I are in the Raven clan, and we only dance for eagles, so tonight you are all honorary eagles of the Tlingit nation. We also marry the opposite clan, and our wives are eagles, and our children then take after that side. Charlie's daughter and my son will be here and talking to you who are then in the eagle clan. Now, most of the dances were very great in staging. Trap spades opened up to allow the dead to disappear, use of masks and other great paraphernalia. Most of the items that we have are reproductions of those born about 150 years ago, although we have some very fine artifacts also, which we'll explain to you also. Charlie, by the way, also is one of our master protocol carvers, and I do a bit of that also. This first dance was a welcome dance or a greeting dance. The girls with their button blankets tell what clan or sub-clan they belong to. The young men with their capes of ermine, the crest in the front of their hat, tell what clan they belong to. Out there in the village, there were 7 great tribal houses, such as you see out in the middle of the ground. They are long since gone. And one of those houses that still stands out there is a wall screen, similar to what you see behind me, but of a bear. And the story behind it is this. The Chilkat chief was out hunting and fishing one day, and he had the bad luck of running into a big brown bear and was badly mauled. In his dying state, he is found by the warriors. He tells the warriors to look for a bear that has portions of his scalp still lodged in his teeth. After he dies, the women rolled him in his famous Chilkat blanket, and he was cremated in the fashion of the time. Now the warriors go out looking for the bear that killed their chief. And they kill many bears, all to no avail, not finding the right bear. But then the raven appears. Now he has many great powers. He founded the world in 7 days. We see him here as he is out here fishing, being chased and bothered by the big bear. In his great wisdom, knows this is the bear that killed the chief. He turns himself into a man and guides the warriors out and in the fight to kill the bear. Spearmen were important in fighting bears in those days, working in teams, jabbing in the back of the leg to break them down and finish them off. This is the bear and the raven dance. once in the oil. The oil sort of floated on the top. And by splashing cold water on it, it set it up a little thicker. They called it grease. And they would skim that off and put it in their Bentwood boxes, their car bowls, and they would dip their dry fish in that in the wintertime. It had great quantities of vitamin A in it. They used to try to feed the cannibal giant totem pool that oil. Of course, it was all solved, hoping it would satisfy his hunger and keep the mosquito population down. But it all ran down through the front of the pool, and that part of it is pretty well preserved. When Captain Vancouver came up here in 1794, he found out that the Chilcats had great quantities of furs to trade. They didn't never know they were the middleman of the fur trade from the north. The Lynn Canal, by the way, is named after Captain Vancouver's hometown, which was King's Lynn, England. What we see here, traders are going up, which is now the Haines Highway, then called the Grease Trail, going into the interior and trading with those Indian people there. Now they're the Athabascan people, but they picked up the name of Stick Indian because they wore a stick in the septum of their nose in the early days. We see the traders getting up in springtime up on the summit, some 70 miles away. Snow is still on the ground, and the ptarmigan is doing a courting, stamping, strutting dance, trying to attract the mate. What he does attract, though, is the interior Indian, wearing the long fringed beaded gloves, who competes against him. Finally, they do attract the girls, and the four dance together. The love dance and the ptarmigan dance. We also call it a training dance, as we have many more little fellows here from 6 to 7 to 8 years old that follow the lead dancer. If they're good enough, someday they will lead too.
So he was taking a breather and flying around looking at his handiwork, and he noticed his people were starving. He went down and he asked them what the problem was, and they said that the tide refused to go out and they couldn't find any food. So the raven put his wings on and he flew around, and he found where this old woman was holding the tide in on a string. And he pleaded with her, and he said, "You're causing my people to starve. Please let the tide out." But she refused. The raven got angry and he threatened her, and she called out a trained wolf, and the wolf came out and chased the raven away. Well, the raven went back, and with his great power, he turned one of his helpers into a beautiful young woman. And he sent her out, and she was able to entice the wolf away. And the raven changed himself into a man, and once again he approached the old woman who was holding in the tide. And this time she didn't recognize him in his human form. She let him get very close, and he grabbed a handful of sand off the beach, threw it into her eyes, and she was blinded and in great pain, and she cried out for help. And the raven said, "I'll help you only if you promise to let the tide out twice a day." So finally she agreed to do this, and the raven washed her eyes out, and she could see again. From then on, the tide did go out twice a day.
very carefully how those eyes actually move. I'm sure the rawhide was long since gone away by that time or rotted away. So we tried various strains, but the girls just couldn't seem to get the hang of it. So one of the boys said, why don't we just put some rubber bands on the eyes and hold them in the up position, and she can pull on a string and let them fly back. When I was putting the rubber bands on the mask, when the elders came by, I was a little embarrassed, and I said, I suppose you think this is terrible, we're using rubber bands here. It looked at me rather funny. He says, when I was a boy, if we had rubber bands, we used rubber bands. When we tell people sometimes, they ask Charlie and I why we're using a chainsaw to rough out a large totem pole. Now, I told you that there are two clans, the Ravens and the Eagles. And in case there's a difference of opinion between the two, it could be a destruction thing to family life. Because the Ravens would be on one side and fighting the Eagles on the other side, which means that I would be fighting against my wife and my children. So I wanted to see something like this in a war dance, but some way or other, until after I was adopted 40 years ago, the elders finally told me the reason why. There was an inter-clan fight about 100 years ago, and 9 people were killed before they finally made friends and settled their differences. So they decided they would never do a war dance or something like that again. So we went to another town for this thing. It seems that the Ravens over here had killed an Eagle chief, and the Eagle said, unless you sacrifice some of equal right, we're going to go to war. The warrior chiefs got together, agreed they would sacrifice somebody. Rather than just do this, they had to put on a big shambal or a big show. Line their warriors up on either side, and they rush each other as though they're going to do great battle with war cries and clatter of weapons. And they part, and again they rush together, and again they part. The third time, the man is to die, so that forward. The spearman stepped out, the man is impaled and killed. Now, the clique of people can scalp you, but they might cut your head off and put it on the end of a spear and parade it around. This was a great honor for the winning side. This particular dance had a few added attractions, which we're not allowed to do. My son will explain a few of those when the spear dance is over.
I'm sure you realize the man that dies carries the mask concealed under his blanket. Well, in the old days, besides concealing the mask, oftentimes he would conceal a bladder of animal blood in his cheek. Sometimes even an additional one would be hidden in the back of the mask. So when the man was first stabbed, he would bite that bladder of blood and slowly let the blood run down his face. And when the mask was picked up on the spear, it would slide down and the second bladder of blood would break. Blood would pour all over the floor, people would faint. It was really an exciting dance. In the old days, if my child were ailing, I would go to the shaman and ask if he could make my child well. He would ask that I have my house cleaned out of all the evil spirits. This would usually be done by one of his many apprentices. Then the shaman would arrive to take a look at my child and decide if he wanted to take the job. If he thought he could make my child well, he would take the job. But if he had any doubt in his mind, he would usually refuse, because the shaman knew once he took the job, if the patient didn't get any better, then the shaman wouldn't get paid. We tried to talk our local doctors here into that, but they wouldn't go for it. So my son would be brought out, carefully laid on a valuable fur, covered with one or more blankets, depending on my status in the community. If I was very wealthy and the shaman thought he could demand a lot in the way of payment, He might ask for artwork, carvings, blankets, and other gifts to be placed in piles around the patient. Those would be used as payment should the shaman make the patient well. Then the shaman would arrive, always carrying his rattle in his right hand, always moving the way the sun goes. He might bring as many as 9 helpers with him. Often he had special masks to scare away the evil spirits or to blow them away. Sometimes he had preparations from his vast knowledge of the plants of the forest. Usually he could make your upset stomach better and make your headache go away. But other than that, much of what the shaman did was a series of fake and trickery. And so slowly, over a period of many years, especially after the arrival of the missionary and supposedly more modern medicine, slowly the dance began to change. Till over the years it became one of the only humorous dances that was done. Now I'm never sure in a case like this whether the patient's going to get any better or not. We'll kind of find out together. Oftentimes in the old days they were great at staging effects. With split-level floors in their long houses, they had subterranean passageways and hidden trap doors. A slave or someone else specially trained would throw water or leaves on the fire, steam or smoke would arise, and when you could see again, the dead had either appeared or disappeared, or maybe the shaman had reappeared. This is sometimes called the witch doctor or the shaman dance.
Is this where the emergency's at? Uh-huh, here you go. Sorry about that, man. She's right in line of fire. Takes in a sec. Takes in a sec. Cool now. Can you hear me back there okay? Would be a doctor in the house now, would there? Go now! I got the end of camera in the house, Coach Scout. Breathe in.
Yes,